Hare Krishna and welcome to this workshop style video. We will discuss prosody and verse meter in the Bhagavad-gita, chapter 1, verse 2. In this part 1 video we will especially focus on the syllabification, that is the extraction of the syllables from each pada. And when we have done that, we will determine the main type of verse meter used in this verse. So now let's start with zooming in here a little so that we can see our worksheet better. Let's start with pada number 1, drstva tu pandavanikam. And here we have the first word drstva, which is, of course, is starting its syllable with dr. But what happens with these 3 consonants in a row here? Which one goes with dr and which ones go to the right? So in order to understand that, we have to look at the rules. Okay, so we have drstva is a 3 consonant word, or with a 3 consonant cluster, and in such a case we have to determine which condition applies. Now in the first condition here we have to find whether or not the C1, the rightmost consonant, is a R or Y. But in drstva, the C1 is a V, so it's not R or Y. So that does not apply. What about condition 2? If C2 and C3 both are stops, that is the condition. But in the case of drstva, C2 and C3 are not both stops, because C3 is the sh, the leftmost consonant there is a sh, so it's not a stop. Therefore we have to apply condition 3, which has its rule is that C1 has to move to the right together with a red vowel, and C2 and C3 have to go to the left. So let's go back to our worksheet then, and in this case therefore we have to let the sh and the t go to the left, to this syllable here, and wa goes together to form syllable 2. And syllable 3 is easy, we just cut 2. Now in the next case we have pa here as the beginning, but we see that it's followed by 2 consonants in a row here, and what happens then? Well, our 2 consonant cluster rule is that over here to the right, that C1 goes to the right and C2 goes to the left. So we return back to our worksheet, and then that means that we split them both so that the N goes to the left to pan, and the goes to the right. And then we have the last rule that we haven't looked at so far, and that is this single consonant in the middle there. And the rule for that is simply that all single consonants should team up with the vowel on their right. So we go back to the, and that's why the V does not go with the here. It goes to the right and teams up with the long A here. And since we have a following N there, the N will go to the right that as well. And since we have a K after that, the K will move to the right as well, so we don't worry about that. And the final M there teams up with a vowel on its left. So that's the first line. Now pada number 2. Vyudham duryodhanah's tada. And here we see that we have the embryo to one syllable there, and the question is, what about da here? Well, it's just one consonant, right? So it goes to the right. And therefore view will be one syllable, and down another, because the anuswara, the here will always go to the left and team up with a vowel on its left. Okay, now to the next syllable here, and since we have the r and y, the two consonants in a cluster here, the r will have to go to the left, dur, and then we have da there in the middle, which is just one consonant, so it will have to move to the right. So we can cut yo, and then we have a single n which will move to the right, so we will have the, and two consonant st, and the s will go to the left, and the t sound will go to the right, team up with the short a here, and then we are left with da at the end there. Now to pada 3. Acaryam upsangamya. Okay, we have a single consonant here in between two vowels, so that must move to the right. Therefore, the long a in the beginning is a syllable on its own. We have a two consonant cluster here with r and y, and the r has to move to the left and team up with the long a. We have a single m in between the a and the u, so the m moves to the right and leaves us with y. And we have a single p which moves to the right, and we have a single s which moves to the right. We have an anuswara here which always goes with the vowel to the left, and then we have two consonants m, y, so we form gum and y. And now to pada 4. Radhe vacanam abravit. And here we have, the beginning is here, but what about the j? J. It's a single consonant, so it moves to the right, so we don't worry about it in the first syllable, but it comes to the second one. There it is. And then we have va and the single consonant following there, which moves to the right. So we have ch, and the n is single, so it moves to the right. we have to take it there. And the M is also single, so that also moves to the right. And then we have a consonant cluster of 2 here, where the B sound must go to the left, and then the R sound moves to the right with the short up. And then last but not least is Vit, where the T teams up with the long E. So there we have all the syllables on all the lines. And now let's zoom out to get a little overview. So here we then have all the padas, and we see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 syllables on the first line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the third. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the fourth pada. Alright, so according to this scheme here, little exercise here, we will, according to this table here also, we will see that this must be an anustub meter. 8 syllables per pada. Okay, so this was the first part 1, and in the next part video we will look at all the rest here in this table. So we will fill all the cells here below here with the length and the weight and the gana and the pattern. Thank you very much for watching, and Hare Krishna.